From the female prison guard caught on camera during a prison cell encounter to the guard who was forcibly kissed by an inmate during a routine check, female guards have faced some truly shocking experiences with inmates. In this video, I'll reveal the life-altering encounters that female prison guards have endured at the hands of those they are tasked with overseeing. At number 5, Rachel Wilson. In the summer of 2021, a scandalous incident took place in Adwell Prison in West Lothian, Scotland. A shocking video surfaced showing a female prison officer, Rachel Wilson, in a passionate kiss with inmate Kevin Hogg. Rachel Wilson had only been on the job since spring that year, and little did she know that her brief tenure would end in a scandal that would make headlines. Kevin Hogg, an inmate serving a 3-year sentence for traffic offenses, would end up at the center of this controversy. The incident unfolded in Hogg's modern white-walled cell, which he seemed to occupy alone. The 79-second clip begins with Hogg placing a mobile phone on a shelf facing the door, indicating that his actions were pre-planned. With the camera now in place, he walks around for a few seconds before stopping to take a drink of water, seemingly preparing for what is about to happen. A few seconds later, Rachel Wilson appears at the cell door. The two exchange whispers before Hogg grabs Wilson and pulls her in for a kiss. The kiss lasts only a few seconds, but its impact is huge. After the kiss, Wilson leaves the cell, and Hogg stops recording. The video quickly spread among inmates and staff, reaching as far as Bellini Prison in Glasgow. As the footage continued to circulate, speculations ran wild. Was Rachel Wilson being blackmailed, or was this a consensual act? Could it be that Kevin Hogg had coerced her into the kiss and was holding the footage over her head? At first, the theory that Hogg recorded the video to blackmail Wilson seemed very likely. The way he set up the phone and recorded the kiss made it look like he had a plan. However, as the video spread, it became clear that there was more to the story. If Hogg was trying to blackmail Wilson, he wouldn't have let the video spread like wildfire. Instead, he would have held on to it and used it to make her do his bidding. The way things turned out was proof that he had other intentions. He had recorded the kiss for bragging rights, wanting to show off to the other inmates that he could get a prison officer to kiss him. The video itself provided important clues to support this new theory. Wilson's body language and lack of resistance indicated that she was a willing participant. If she had been coerced, she would have pressed her panic button, but she didn't. In situations of blackmail, the victim usually shows signs of distress or fear. Wilson's behavior in the video doesn't suggest that she was under duress, pointing to a consensual act rather than coercion. As the investigation progressed, the theory of blackmail continued to crumble. The evidence pointed towards a different narrative, one of poor judgment and a lapse in professional conduct. While the investigation was ongoing, Rachel was relieved of her duties. However, it is unclear whether or not charges were brought against her. Number 4. Alicia R. Smith. Alicia R. Smith was a prison guard in the Pembroke Correctional Facility in Indiana. One day, Alicia became pregnant. A DNA test later found out that the father was a prisoner named Dontel Keys. Dontel Keys had been serving a life sentence for kidnapping and taking a life. It turned out Alicia and Dontel had been having relations for many years, all while the prison authorities had no idea. She gave birth in June of 2016 and was fired a few months later in October, but Alicia and Dontel kept in contact over the text until April 2017. Alicia R. Smith was arrested for this, but the amount of prison time she was sentenced to is unknown. Number 3. Alison Sharples. Moving on, let's look at Alison Sharples. Alison Sharples was a prison guard at Garth Jail in Lancashire, UK. That was when she met gangster and inmate Marvin Berkeley, who was in prison for assault and substance charges. Despite their very different lives, Alison and Marvin fell in love. They wrote each other love letters, but in 2017, their relationship was exposed in a very bizarre way. Alison was leaving work and had to put her handbag through the scanner. That's when security found something shocking in Alison's handbag, a syringe filled with Marvin's genetic material. Alison wanted to use this to make herself pregnant so she and Marvin could have a child. But instead, Allison was caught and sentenced to 9 months in prison, ironically, the number of months it takes for a baby to be born. Number 2. Vicky White. Let's look at Vicky White. White was a guard at a prison in Lauderdale County, Alabama. She was known as a very trusted guard, but that all changed in April of 2022. She helped murderer Casey White escape from the prison. Vicky and Casey had developed a relationship behind bars and spent a lot of time texting and calling each other. Vicky released Casey and let him out. They then used a police car as a getaway vehicle and later swapped into a different car to drive away. They were trying to flee the state, but cops soon noticed them and began chasing them. Eventually, Vicky hit a tree and crashed. Casey was slightly wounded, but Vicky ended her own life before police could arrest her. Casey White was taken back to the same prison, where he will remain for the rest of his life. Number 1. Chloe Jones. Moving along, let's look at Chloe Jones. Chloe Jones was a guard at Alt Course Prison in Liverpool, UK. That's where she met Philip King, who was serving time for burglary and theft. The two quickly fell in love, exchanging 3,000 texts in only 46 days. They did this on illegal contraband phones. Soon, Philip King escaped from prison. Chloe then hid Philip in her house and even directly lied to the police who were looking for Philip while he was a fugitive. Philip continued burglarizing and was eventually arrested for this and taken back to prison. After interrogations, Chloe Jones admitted she'd been harboring Philip at her house the entire time. Philip had 2.5 years added to his sentence, and Chloe was sentenced to 1.5 years behind bars. But now it's time for you to make your voice heard. Comment below on which of these prison relationships was the most shocking. I've been Charlie. Thanks for watching. If you want to see my short videos, then check out my second channel. Leave a like if you enjoyed, and if you haven't already, then what are you waiting for? Subscribe now.